Yes, indeed! Big Brother Bear here to give you all that you want and what you need. Today I'm going to give you 5 things I did to be a walk-on redshirt freshman to a full-ride athletic scholarship recipient.
Hoop loudy.
Now, to give you some type of context, when I came out of high school, no coaches were knocking on my door. No coaches were beating on my door saying that I want bail. Nobody was doing that. I had to carve my way when I got there. The only reason I got that opportunity is because the high school that I went to graduated a guy. His name was Chris Anderson. He went on to go to Wyoming. But before he went to the University of Wyoming, he went to the JUCO that I started off at. JUCO was it's called College of Eastern Utah. It's in Price, Utah. And he went to that school beforehand. So the coach took a gamble on me and me and one of my teammates, and we went on to this school to walk on to see if anything was going to work out. And then we had the opportunity to get, scholarships after that. But if it had not been for Chris going to that school, showing that coach that my high school has some great players, then I would have got that opportunity. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, number one. But number two, once I got that opportunity, I had to make sure that I stuck. I had to make sure that I made good on that opportunity. I had to make sure that I was going to get a scholarship after that. I say all that to say this. Your coach and your performance in high school is good enough to get your foot in the door, but it's not good enough to keep you in there. It's not good enough to keep you in there. You got to perform, and that's what I had to do. It's my humble belief that I did some things right to afford me the opportunities, and today I'm going to give you 5 of them. Number one, every day I treated it like it was a tryout. Though you're on the team, though they give you a jersey, you can practice with the team, I treated it like it was a tryout. I knew from the jump that I was not on the team. I knew that every practice, my coach was evaluating everything about me, my attitude. He was evaluating was I progressing as a basketball player. He was evaluating my grades. Was I going to be taking care of my business in the classroom? He's evaluating me on a regular basis, and I realized that. Instead of feeling like just because I got a tryout, I even got some gear that year. They gave me sweats and shoes and things like that. You have to be careful with that kind of stuff because you get mesmerized and thinking like, oh, I'm a part of the team. Look, I got the gear. I'm a part of the team. Wrong. You are not a part of the team, okay? You are not part of the team. You're just an extra practice player. And if you don't take care of your business and treat every practice like it's a tryout, guess what? You are always just going to be a practice player. You're never going to get in the game, all right? So that's the first thing I did. Number 2, I stayed out of trouble. It's crazy to me when you see a person that red shirts or a person that is on the team but don't get no playing time getting into trouble. Why would you do that? That's counterproductive. Why would you do that? So you mean tell me a coach going to put his neck out there for you and you don't even help the team and you causing trouble? A coach is more willing to stick his neck out for a player that scores a lot of points, that gets a lot of rebounds, that helps the team win, because ultimately he or she keeps their job based off if they're doing their job as far as a basketball coach, number one. So if you're helping them do that, then by all means they're going to be on you to make sure you go to class more so because they need you to win ball games. But if you're not helping them win ball games, not going to class, always under the influence of something, you're more of a problem than you are an answer to anything they have going on. They have to ask themselves, is the juice worth the squeeze? And the answer is no. So if you think you're going to take these coaches through these changes and they're going to return you back the next year, you're not going to class, you're not taking care of your business, you're not advancing as a basketball player, taking care of your body. If you think that, you are sadly mistaken. You cannot get into trouble off court and think that's not going to affect how you're perceived and your production on the court. Number three, one thing that I knew to do, one thing that I realized is I was a target, okay? Let me just call it how it is. Some of you are very immature, much like I was when I was coming through the ranks. I felt like this in high school, but when in college, I made sense of what was going on. If you pay attention, you'll realize that some coaches treat other players differently, and you feel like it's unfair. Why does he yell at this player and not this player? Why does he yell at me and not this player? Why does he run this player more than he runs that player? Why does he do this? Why does she do that? Yada, yada, yada. So if you're not careful, you'll get caught up in your own head about who's favorites and all this other stuff. And really, it cancels out any opportunity that you advance in within your career as basketball. I quickly realized when I was in college that I was a target. I was the person that he always pointed out that I was doing things wrong. Always. Bill, you're doing this wrong. Go run. He would just have me running. Me and the guy that I went to high school with, his name was Ray, we had to do a lot of running. And I thought to myself, why are we running so much? The reason being is he used us as an example in hopes that by osmosis that it would get from our brain to some of his star players' brain. Because some of the star players were soft as doggone wet toilet paper. That if you told them anything, they'd crumble. So to alleviate that, he would tell us, hey, Bell, you're screwing this up. But he's really talking about this person. But he knew that I was mentally strong enough that I could handle it and not pout. Whereas if he told the person that he really was supposed to tell that person pout, and that person played on the basketball team, so that person may not score the points or get the rebounds they would normally get because they're over there pouting. So I realized I was a target. I realized not to take it personal. I realized it was just me taking my lumps for the team so that the team would do better. And I wasn't so stuck on, why are you yelling at me? I just took I took the criticism and kept moving. I kept going. It wasn't something that I was going to let bother me. Whether you're a red shirt or not, you should have thick skin and not allow something like that to bother you or stop your production moving forward. Realize that you're going to be getting coached hard. Realize there might be a time where they might say some things that's not so nice. Focus on the message they're giving you and not the delivery, not the volume, not the intensity in which they're giving it to you, but just focus on the message, what they're trying to get across. And I was able to do that. During Christmas time, the players came back before the normal students on campus. And because they had games over Christmas break and things like that. So one thing that I did to stand out amongst every other red shirt is I came back with the normal players. And the other red shirts didn't. They stayed home with their families. But I knew that if I can show this coach that this means a lot to me, that I care about this. I don't care about what any of these jokers think about me. My pride was put to the side. All I was worried about was, can I get a scholarship every year after this, right? Some people may look at it like you're kissing up. After doggone practice, I stuck around. I got up shots. Coach knew that I was serious about this, right? I looked at film. Coach knew I was serious about this. I came to be a part of practices when they were having 2 days over Christmas break when no other red shirt was doing that? Who wants to do two-a-days over Christmas break? Who wants to do that? Nobody. But if you're serious about making a contribution moving forward, you consider it. And that's one thing I did. So basically, what you can do, my fourth one is go above and beyond what is established for red shirts. In every kind of way. Every kind of way, you're looking at it like a trial and you want to go above and beyond. You should never be at the back of the line when we're doing drills. You should always be the first one to do it. You should always be the hardest worker. You should always be doing those things because guess what? You're a red shirt. This is a good rule of thumb for anybody, period, if you want to be a leader, if you want to get a scholarship the next year. You should be doing this, period. But especially if you're a red shirt. Nothing is guaranteed for this next year, or even the next semester for that matter. So make sure you go above and beyond, much like I did with that Christmas break showing up early. I showed up 2 weeks before all the other red shirts showed up, and I got up and did those 2 days during the Christmas break because I wanted to make sure that my coach knew that I was serious. I was about this life. This is something I want to do. I want to make sure I get a scholarship moving forward. And guess what? I did. And number 5, the last one that helped me stand out from all the other red shirts is this. I committed myself to the opportunity that I had in front of me. Again, this is another thing that everybody could use, but red shirts especially. I wouldn't even say especially. All of us could use this. And that's just committing to the opportunity that you have in front of you and not looking at the back door. So many times we lose basketball games, we fail tests, we sabotage. It's like we self-sabotage ourselves because we're automatically thinking about what we're going to do if this doesn't work. Why would you even be focused on what if it doesn't work? Focus on it working. It's going to work. I'm focusing on. I'm not diverting any of my attention to any. I'm gonna have laser focused attention to me getting on this basketball team. I remember being in hotels on traveling squads and guys saying, well, if I don't make this team, then I'm going to do this. So if that's the case and you're not focused on what you have in front of you, you can only commit 100% one place at a time. Multitasking is a fallacy. Is a fallacy. It's not true. You can only focus on one thing and do 100%. You can only put 100% into one thing at a time. So some of these red shirts will already count themselves out, saying if I don't get a scholarship here, then I'm going to try to walk on to this school. I'm going to try to do that. And my thing is, I just committed all my focus, all my attention to one area, making sure that this coach knew that I was serious about making sure I was coming back the next year. And I did that in 2 different ways, academically and athletically. That's what I did. So thank you so much for checking out this video. I hope you found something in it that you can kind of put away in your pocket and use in the future and learn from my mistakes and learn from the things I did well so you have a smoother transition in college. Whether you're in high school or whether you're already in college, this is information that can really help you out. So as always, whether it's on the court or off, in the classroom or out, graduate at the top of your class. Hoop loud.
loud E.